Julius Malema feels betrayed by South Africans.
Yes. So, if we didn't want Ramaphosa, why didn't you vote him out and stop asking us to do things that you didn't do? You had an opportunity to vote Ramaphosa out, you didn't do it. You know Malema will do it. Do it yourself. Ramaphosa is not our preferred cup of tea. It's not our preferred. But he can't be a deal breaker. You know, the good thing with the EFF is that we speak to everyone, including those small boys of the DA with their grandmother, Helen. We can talk to all of them. Those racists, we have no problem. But we talk to them out of principle. We are not going to find each other. Sure. How do you have an opposition declaring an opposition and then leaving the ruling party to concentrate on the opposition? They wanted to finish this EFF in these elections. The Oppenheimers took millions and millions of money. Barry, hey, we don't want this kind of an arrangement. This EFF is a big problem. They went out to finish the EFF. Look at us now. Oppenheimer. We're here. We're a problem for another 5 years. We are in a very good mood. Looking forward to go to Cape Town. We must go clean up our boots and our overalls. Sangen. Peswa. We're not going to allow that. Elections are over now. We're going to govern where we're governing. We're going to govern properly. And we defeated Daily Maverick, and we defeated Oppenheimer, Rupert, the Minel family. We defeated ENCA. When MK was overtaking, the first overtaking of MK by the leaderboard there, I was in a house where they were watching ENCA. Yes, sir. Those ENCA people were celebrating like the EFF has lost elections. So you can see that these people, they don't love us. They do everything in their power to get rid of us. We are not going anywhere. It's corner. And we are in all legislatures, by the way, comfortably. Too much. We are in this thing for a very long time. Ours is a generational mission. Ours is a generational mission. There is no one on this table who is 60 years old on this table. So we are here for many years to come. If President Zuma can do it at 82, just not even 50 on this table. So if President Zuma can do it at 82, it means you are going to wait for me until I turn 82. Because I will be here. If President Zuma can hold it until then, CD, I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you.
Julius Malema feels betrayed by South Africans. How so? Let us talk about it. Well, guys, as you all know that seconds, we were all called in order for us to go and fulfill our assignment by electing our representative, whether it's through National Assembly, whether it's through in the provincial, and our president. So we all know that these elections, it was one of the high-risk elections which everyone have predicted in many different ways, including Julius Malema as the president of the EFF. We all know what we were expecting that will happen from these elections. But looking at how things are sitting right now on the table, well, it is normal for us to realize and understand that Julius Malema is being betrayed by South Africans. We are going to talk about that in more details in this video if you watch it until the end. But how did we get there? How someone such as Julius Malema have to get or to feel this betrayal from South Africans when these are the people supposed to vote him? Because looking at the table, at the moment of this video being recorded, we are sitting at percentage of result that is already been counted, and Julius Malema with the EFF, they're not even sitting at number 3 as we all know in their previous election which they participate, but they're sitting in number 4. And when we look around through the province results, well, the performance of DFF of Julius Malema seemed to be that poor than what we all expected. So now you begin to understand why Julius Malema feel betrayed by South Africans. So we all know that Julius Malema did a very powerful campaign. In other words, we can even use the word of an American campaign. And when we're talking about American campaign, we are talking about a campaign which is well run. We also how Julius Malema recruited thousands and thousands of people all gathered who have to come and sit and see or listen to Julius Malema message. We saw how he traveled around the country, including in the dark side of this country. He went over there to speak with the different communities who came in their large numbers in order for them to listen to what Julius Malema had to say.
After Alexander and pay them for looking after Alexander. We want this place to be beautiful. In a place where you are forgotten. University just next to Alexander Mo. Rebata Olinka, Little Body Big Room, Lebobi Kuku, Ro Occupy the Facilela La Fest, but Marina Crema.
But how possible is it that we could not be able to see all these people through the result that we are seeing right now? Because, guys, we all saw how Julius Malema fill up the FNB stadium in Soweto. People seated even in the ground. We all saw how Julius Malema fill up the Moses Mabhida stadium. We all saw how Julius Malema recently again fill up the Peter Mokaba Stadium. All these thousands of people, all of them in the red beret, who came to listen to Julius Malema and sing alongside to Ngumbangamnant. Where are these people when these results are coming out? Because whether we like it or not, I doubt that the small amount of a result which remain that they need to officialize it, I doubt that there's any possibility that Julius Malema with the EFF will be in the right position, because things they are not looking that good at all. Even when we look on some of the province whereby we were expecting Julius Malema to demonstrate the power, province such as Mpumalanga, Julius Malema, they're not even the page over there. We are talking about the ANC, followed by MK, DA, Julius Malema, and then follow. When we go in province such as Limpopo, there again we are seeing another way that the EFF, they crushed them to the point that it has just be kind of disappointing, because we were not all expecting that. Guys, beside that, we also the kind of campaign which the student commander who had also to come and testify and telling everyone that the EFF, they are doing very good in all the campus, in all the college. They are having many youth who have to vote there. Now, we have to understand here, what happened to all these people who are supposed to be voting for the EFF? Did them not vote? Or most of them were not qualified to vote? Or did them actually vote, but they decided to vote for some other political party? Because that is where the problem are seated right now. We need to understand what exactly happened. Because we might be saying that, okay, yes, it is true. Julius Malema fill up all these areas that we spoke about, the stadiums, or whether community meetings that he had with different community around South Africa. But did the message of Julius Malema did land in the heart of all these people? Did these people believe in Julius Malema message? That is something that we need also to understand as we are having this conversation with you. Because if the message of Julius Malema did not land in the hearts of all these people gathered here listening to Julius Malema, then which means whatsoever Julius Malema was saying, it was going through one side of the ear and it comes out from another side of the ear. Because if this message of the EFF it was landed and seated inside the hearts of all these audience, I believe they will have manifest their choice on the EFF of Julius Malema. But if that did not happen, there have to be something that went wrong somewhere. Whether it is the message of Julius Malema which was wrongly captured, or whether it is people who were not qualified. We all know that about 65% of the youth in South Africa, all of them, they show they are voluntary to vote for the EFF. But how come this 65% of the youth in South Africa, we are not seeing them through this election result that is being counted so far? Because when we look at the boards of the IEC, you can even see that there's a possibility of the EFF end up even becoming number one, losing their third part and become number one after the MK, which is the new political party which came to the existence after 4 months. 4 months only. Of course, we're still going to talk more about the MK in our next videos. But right now, let's just try to understand why people of South Africa have to disappoint Julius Malema in such a way. When Julius Malema with the EFF, they were more sure that this year it is now more than ever. Yep, they were believing that Julius Malema will be the president of South Africa and will be having a large majority in the parliament. But looking at how things are sitting right now on the table, you ask yourself, what happened? What went wrong? Where are all these people we're seeing here and then? Well, in order for us to understand all this properly, there's something that I want to share with you. As you all know that we are having different social media platforms whereby we get to discuss any matters about Pan-Africans. And I was surprised on the day of elections. I received an SMS or a message in my inbox, and someone who was on the queue to vote letting me know that no, I'm having a problem here because I'm standing on the queue and people, they seem not to talk that good about Julius Malema. They do love him, they do believe in everything he says, but there is a problem here. And the problem, it is a problem of mentality. I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? And the person, she's like, no, there's a problem of mentality because people, they still think worse about what the lead of EFF, Julius Malema, has been saying. Then I'm like, okay, please, would you like to collaborate more and tell me about what is these people saying? Well, the person's like, no, some they are saying that if they have to vote for EFF and Julius Malema become the president of South Africa, well, SARS will be in trouble. So, in other words, they believe that Julius Malema will put a lot of investigations when it comes to the part of SARS in order for him to fight corruption. So, which means everyone will have to pay SARS whether they like it or not. I'll leave that for now. And with one question attached to it. Is that make Julius Malema become a bad person or not? If a person who wants like everyone, they should pay SARS, which is taxes. Some of them, they were saying that no, I wish I can vote for EFF, but I don't want to vote them because they'll take away the free education. Then when I heard about that, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised. Do we have free education in this country? Come to think of it. That was just a question which came in my mind. I had to ask myself a question to know, do we even have free education in this country? Because as far as I remember, Remember, guys, myself with Cool Bass TV, we did accompany the EFF leader through his rally. You guys, you saw we went live and show you all the speech that Julius Malema was holding with the community in different areas in South Africa. In one of his message, he was always talking about the free education for all. So if Julius Malema speak about free education for all, how possible is it gonna be for him to to come and remove a free education which has been existing there? And I believe Julius Malema, when he call about free education, is because there is no free education. In one of the EFF ads which they play on, it says, free education, they promise us free educations, but up to today, we have not seen that.
The affected students remain in the hallways and on the grounds of the East.
They promised us free education in 1994. 30 years later, all they've delivered is a corrupt NSFAS and a broken education system. On May 29th, Election Day, vote EFF.
So, a man who's promising you to give you free education, yet you are seeing this man that knows the one who's going to come and take the free education away. Do you think everything is okay there? Because according to me, the person who think that way, something's wrong with their mentality. Okay? The third part, according to the people who were on the queue to vote, they said the main reason why they don't want to vote for Julius Malema is because of his language calling for borderless Africa, calling for the unite Africa, calling for the one army, one president, one currency, all those things that Julius Malema usually send out there to all Africans. Well, they used that against Julius Malema. Now, let us try to discuss more about these things as I saw it in that message which someone said it to me. You know, I end up understanding that we're having a problem, we're having a serious problem. And the problem we're having is a problem of mentality. Yes. Personally, I always say that sooner or later, these are the things that will affect Julius Malema as time goes. I'll tell you why. As Pan-Africans, I know very well that each and every time one Pan-African stand out there and try to ask for unity of Africans, that person is not welcome in the world of white monopolitical. That person will be their enemy number one. That person, they'll fight him with all the tools of power that they have in their possession. That person, he will have to be eliminated, whether it's physically or politically. That is something that we should have known already long time as a black child of Africa soil. We know they did these things with people such as Thomas Sankara from Burkina Faso, Patrice Emery Lumumba from DR Congo, Mohamed Nkrumah, Mohamed Gaddafi, including the late Robert Mugabe from Zimbabwe. All these people, they were eliminated, whether it's physically or politically, or trying to poison them or send them to jail. They did all these things to them, all just because they were trying to alert the entire African continent. They were trying to waken up the African youth that you guys should open your eyes. The mistake that our forefathers or our mothers have done before is not something that needs to be repeated. So you guys, you need to stand up and be strong to fight against this. That is the kind of people that they don't last in this world. When you come, you talk about land, especially when you talk about land without compensation, well, you'll become as the enemy number one, because they'll fight you with everything. They know very well that your dignity as a black child is seated in the land. If you say anything without a land, well, no one will believe you. But if you have land, at least your respect, your dignity, it will come through that. And that is something that these people, they don't want anyone to say some things like that about them. So if you want to become a Pan-Africans, they'll fight you. They can use your own fellow black brothers and sisters to fight you, like the way we're seeing they're doing it now with EFF. They will do anything in their power to make sure that they wipe you off with whatsoever you are coming with it. That's how you saw you guys, they eliminate Chris Saini. It is all because these people used to have the same language as the one of Julius Malema. So personally, as Pan-Africans, I have understand that one already. That these things will come with a big price to pay. They're not going to make it easy for you. Because proof to that, to show you how important the land it is to these people, or the economy of Africa it is to these people, you will see that no matter how far they are from Africa continent, they still putting their eyes and their ears and everything right in what is happening in Africa continent. They are monitoring everything even from far. You understand? They are doing all these things not because they love Africans, no. They are doing all these things simply because they want to make sure that Africa still remain colonized. As I always tell you time to time, that these people, they pretend to leave Africa and saying that we are giving freedom to African countries. They did that only physically, but morally, mentally, they were thinking. They have not left Africa. They still seated right inside Africa. And therefore, they will continue fighting whoever who come up with the idea of making Africa becoming one country, or of making Africa to be united. So, we are having a serious problem with our mentalities. Our mentality still being colonized by the white. So, what Julius Malema is doing, or other Pan-Africans are trying to do so far, is trying to decolonize the mentality of a black child, which seems to be a serious problem. Guys, let's think together with me. Tell me, what is it that one thing that Julius Malema have done wrong? Because even himself, he have asked the same question, wanting to know, what have I done wrong so far when I call for the unity of Africa?
Why am I hated for saying people must unite? For saying let's come to, I'm not saying let's divide. I'm saying let's unite. Instead of being called a unifier who seeks to unify humanity, not only in Africa, in the whole world. No, why do you bring these people? Oh, these people are going to do this, these people are going to do that. Why? Since when is a unifier the enemy of the people and the enemy of peace-loving South Africans, people who advocate for prosperity, for international solidarity with the downtrodden? Why do you now characterize me in a manner you characterize me? It is not my people who say the things that you are saying about me in relation to this question. It is those who enjoy out of the division of our people. They know that the unity of Africa is going to rescue the minerals they've been stealing in DRC and making Eastern DRC look like it's Rwanda, and those people don't deserve to be there. But if there is no border of Rwanda and DRC, who will say these ones are there? There's a conflict there which can only be resolved by collapse of borders, where people no longer see others as coming from the other side. That is unity. We're not collapsing borders for criminality. So when I said creative ways, I simply said, this is your home. No one can stop you. The same way these ones who are in government who are talking nonsense today, they found the creative way to enter these countries. They didn't go there with an aeroplane. They didn't go with a passport. They all found
creative ways. And it goes for all of them. There's no single one of them who has been there outside and who can say, I've been outside because I was on a church trip to Mozambique. No.
Is that something to hate? Why the message of Julius Malema when it comes to African being united is being captured in a very long way when it comes to the fellow South Africans who's supposed to actually understand this message and getting it even more easy? Well, you ask people like, no, that guy, I'm not gonna vote for him because we want to open the border, because we want all the criminal, illegal immigrants to come in. But how many times Julius Malema himself have explained, saying that no one will be illegally in South Africa. No one will stay in South Africa without having proper papers that can show them that, no, yes, you are an African and you are coming from this part of Africa and you are here for 1, 2, 3 reasons. After you're done with your missions, you have to go back to where you came from. Why the message of Julius Malema is being captured in a very wrong way? Well, as I said again, it's a problem of mentality. Our mentality as a black child, we still being colonized by the white people who don't want to see Africa becoming united. We still hating one another. Yes. Let me give you a very easy example. Do you guys still remember what happened during the time of xenophobic attacks here in South Africa? We would rather prefer to leave a white color walking in the streets freely without even stopping them and asking them for paper, but stop our fellow African brother or sister, burn them alive. See the kind of mentality we have? We burn them alive with ties, burning them right there. If it is women using some tree or whatsoever it is to inject it them, in their private parts. These are the things that we are doing to our fellow Africans with our color, skin color. We are mistreating them in a very bad way and welcoming other race. Of course, I'm not saying that this should be applied to any human being out there, regardless of what race they are coming from. But what hurts the most is to see us doing it on our fellow Africans, brothers and sisters. Yet, we prefer to choose other colors. Have you seen our reactions when we talk to other race, such as the white race? We shake. We are nervous. We want to pay attention to each and single word that comes from their mouth, and we want to obey to them. What I'm saying here, these are the facts. I'm not making up stories. We all know. Even when you are at our place of work, when your supervisor, who's a black, who comes and tell you do 1, 2, 3 things, sometimes you just look at them and be like, fusek. But when other race come and talk to you about whatsoever you are being assigned to do, you listen to them, you pay attention to you pay attention to what they are saying. That kind of mentality is what make Africa become what we are today. We are failing to decolonize our mentality in the hands of whites who want to dominate and make sure that they are above everyone. A person who comes, who have studied these things and said that, no, look, actually Africa would have been doing very good, whether it is financially, could have been doing good against unemployment, could have been doing good in 1, 2, 3, 4. But in order for us to do this, these are the easiest way. The simple one thing that we need to do in order for us to set ourselves free. In fact, instead of us to go ahead and try to apply these things, we're seeing these African brothers and sisters becoming our enemies. So guys, Julius Malema is paying today a high price of not being elected as a president of South Africa, all just because of the mentality that we are having as a black child.
I just want to ask, there are some that are saying EFF lost because of your stance about foreigners. Do you still stand by that even after your votes have decreased?
Okay, if this issue is the one that has costed elections for the EFF, why didn't this issue give Mashaba votes? It's not true what you are saying. Rena problem ya rena, MK. MK took our votes which it borrowed to us in 2019. There's no any other explanation other than that. If this issue was a concerning issue in South Africa, Gayton Mackenzie, Mabahambe with 2 seats, Mabahambe. They didn't help anyone with anything. You are not going to be made to compromise a principle to please non-existing voters. Our voters understand our message very well. Our open border policy is, we want Africa that is one. But you cannot do that before you develop the other economies of Africa. And you develop the economies of other African continents through making it easy for goods and services to move around the continent and individuals to move around the continent so that we help develop the continent. These people don't want to come here for the sake of coming here. They want jobs, they want greener pastures. We are a big country, we've got a huge capacity. We can develop their countries and benefit out of that in a huge way. And it's not something that you get elected today. Tomorrow you'll be carrying gates around you in a bag. We have removed these gates. Come. No. Doesn't work like that. You guys are just vulgarizing the whole point. People, 40-something thousand people, 41% of those voters voted for the ANC, which is the one that brought these people here. These people are here already, undocumented. They were brought by the ANC. Why are 41% voting for the ANC still? Because if you hate these foreigners so much, you must hate even a party that has made it possible for these foreigners to enter South Africa. Who has benefited from these xenophobic attacks in these elections? No one. Operation Dodola was contesting elections. They are not going to get anything. Back to the village where they come from. Don't have time. Better to vote to South Africa. So we are refusing. We are refusing to switch off oxygen machines. And if you comrades are saying that thing is the one that is costing us vote, let it continue costing us vote. We are refusing to switch off machines. We are refusing to deny children, African children, to study in our schools because we are told they are from a certain country. But they are Africans. Our interest is to educate Africans. We cannot allow that. If this issue is going to make us remain in the 5 of us, 6 of us, so be it. We're not going to retreat on a lie, on a scaremongering. The issue when we started in 2014 and 2019, it was land. They were saying, yeah, EFF is going to take your land. They even did a program to give people a title deeds. We're giving you title deeds. EFF doesn't want you to have title deeds. Now they realize the issue of the land is not working. They go find something there, which is non-existent. It's a lie. If you doubt me, go and talk to Mashaba. He will tell you how big a lie is this thing of being xenophobic. And then you think you are going to get votes. No. We don't want votes of tribalists, by the way. We don't want votes of racists. We don't want votes of people who thrive on the division of the working class. We don't want regionalistic politics. That's why we are national in character. And we reject regionalistic politics. We reject tribalism. Because tribalism is equal to racism. Once we start engaging in tribalistic politics as a country, you must be rest assured we're inviting a disaster in this country. Because the worst thing with tribalism is that it will lead to a situation where people fight in the same country. It will lead to a civil war. Tribalism goes straight to civil war. That's why we don't subscribe to those things. Someone was saying, why are the Limpopo people not voting for Malema in Limpopo? The Limpopo people are voting for the EFF. I don't want to be voted by the people of Limpopo on the basis of me coming from Limpopo. I don't want that. The EFF is not from Limpopo. It's Julius Malema who's from Limpopo, not EFF. So don't want to locate our organization into some province. We are a national organization. That's why we fight battles in every corner of South Africa, and we are going to continue doing that. Whether we are in government or not, we are going to fight for our people. We are not going to behave here like people who are riding on a high horse and then abandon the character of fighting for our people. We will continue to fight for our people.
The mentality of hating one another. The mentality of thinking that, no, if we elect Julius Malema today as the president of this country, which means our borders will be open and any foreigners can come in. Come to think of it, when we're talking about foreigners, do you know to whom do we refer to? Of course, we are referring to our fellow African brothers that are within Africa continent borders. These are foreigners. But these makulas who coming all the way, crossing the Red Sea, coming to Africa, like the one that they just deported recently, the one who were coming from Dubai with some fraud visas. These people are more welcome. They are being seen as the normal people who are supposed to be coming in this country, and most of them, they are the ones who are illegal. They are opening spaza shop in the locations without having proper documents. In these spaza shops, they are sleeping inside it, they poo inside, they do everything inside that spaza shop. These are the people we feel like, no, we can trust, all just because of their skin color. Now, when we're talking about this, you feel like we're racist. No, we are not racist. Sometimes it is good to speak the truth. We need to tell each other the truth right into our faces. So we are seeing each other as enemies. Yet, we are not doing nothing to prevent the risk which is ahead of us. Julius Malema is being betrayed by South Africans because they could not listen properly to his message. He's a well-loved man. We can all see. Wherever he goes, people go and listen to him. People pay attention to his message. But how come he's not getting to where he's supposed to be? How come he's not even standing in the right position? No, at least even in the second position. Why? Of course, it's because the mentality of black South Africans still colonized by the apartheid regime. That no, look, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you vote like this, it's going to do like that, it's going to do like that. They are failing. And us failing, it is not failing someone as a Julius Malema, but we are failing ourselves as a black child. Because we're supposed to be having visionaries to see at least from far and try to understand the reason behind the message of Julius Malema. Well, it is simple. Now that they have voted about all these things, let's wait and see what will happen. Because beside people not voting for the EFF as we expected, especially in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, this is one of the provinces which made the EFF to become or to gain more voters in 2019. Do you still remember? Many people voted for the EFF at KwaZulu-Natal. Now, what happened this year? There's also another thing which is being involved over there. It's for the fact that this new political party, the MK, it have come and destroy everything. Because let me give you do for you a simple mathematics in order for you to understand what I'm trying to say here. When the people of KwaZulu-Natal decided to vote for the EFF, most of them, they used to vote for the ANC. Now that the ANC, they've been having some problems with among themselves, and this include the former president Jacob Zuma. One moment they have to come and arrest him and send him in jail, all those kind of things. Well, people of KwaZulu-Natal, they had started lost. That's how they start losing their hope or trust in the ANC of President Cyril Ramaphosa, because they feel like, no, touching Zuma is like touching one of us. And then they have to look for another political party which they have to vote for. That is how you saw the number of the IFP end up increasing in their capacities, and the EFF, the number over there, end up also increasing even more. Why? Because people who are supposed to be voting for the ANC, they changed their mind. And now that former President Jacob Zuma decided to open a new political party within the ANC, and he represents himself there. And all these things of the ANC taking the MK to court, doing this, or the ANC doing that, and so on and so on, this was something which they're supposed not to do at first. Because in one of our previous videos, I said to you that actually talking much about MK with Jacob Zuma, you are campaigning for them. You are actually alerting each and every one, especially each and every Zulu out there, to remind them that the election is coming. You better come and vote for Jacob Zuma. But just because everyone, they were talking about it, of course, people end up understanding. So, for the fact that EFF have dropped their number of votes in that province, those voters did not go and vote for the ANC. Because as we're talking right now, the province of KwaZulu-Natal, it is in the hands of the MK. There will be the majority there. And anytime soon, I'm like looking at it, if they manage to finish all the results, like if they finish it, counting them. So, all these voters who are supposed to be voting for the EFF, they end up voting for the MK. So guys, now you understand why Julius Malema feel betrayed by South Africans. Well, it's because, first of all, they get his message wrong. They could not get the message properly. Even the way Julius Malema expressed himself or tried to explain to these people for many years ago, and saying that, no, look, when we're talking about open borders, we mean 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all those things was just going in vain. On the other side, we're having patriotic alliance of Gideon Mackenzie, who also have to come and contradict the EFF and say a lot of things. So you see that it was kind of confusing, even to those who are supposed to be believing in the message of the EFF. But Julius Malema himself have said, if this have to cause me to not be the president of South Africa, then let it be. So the man is firm and stand by his decision. And today is paying price for that. Tell me something. If Julius Malema did not, Julius Malema with EFF, if they did not put the open border policy in their manifesto, do you think that Julius Malema was going to be in this position like we're seeing it right now? Because the man is well organized. The man is well fit to be the president of South Africa. But just because we have a problem of mentality, just because we're still hating our fellow Africans, we call them names, we say that they are foreigners in Africa's soil. Well, that is the reason why we end up voting for other political parties than the EFF of Julius Malema. So the problem here is that we first need to decolonize ourselves through our mind, through our mentality against the white monopolitical. As long we have not done that, well, we're not gonna go anywhere. We're never gonna do anything good. Yep. So we need first to understand that we are one nation. Then we start now understanding the message of Julius Malema in different or proper way of saying that, okay, when Julius Malema said he will open the borders or maybe this and that, what does he really mean by that? Because when I'm saying that we're having a problem of mentality, I'm referring here, I'm not referring to all Africans. Proof to that, Julius Malema, when he visited Africa, like Senegal, he went to Ghana. Guys, do you have the kind of impact this man had over there? Thousands of people who came and welcomed him, salute him with much respect. We saw even African leaders welcoming him. Do you think is it because Julius Malema said this and that? No, it's because these people, they have already an open mentality. They can understand certain things. Like, wait a minute, when this man talking about the unity of Africa, how is it going to benefit us, people from Senegal? How is it going to benefit us, people from Liberia, or people from Namibia, or people from Zambia, or Zimbabwe? How is it going to benefit us? They had to think about all these things and end up understanding that, okay, it actually makes sense. This makes sense. It's going to benefit us because our economy is going to raise up, because I'll be waking up one day in Tanzania, buy the tomato over there from Tanzania and bring it maybe to Madagascar, and from Madagascar I buy something from there and bring it to Zambia. You know, it is in the way of developing Africa continent. We'll be having railways all over, we'll be having this and that. They have understand this message, and that is how they salute and see someone as Julius Malema as their heroes. But us, South Africans, we fail to understand that message because of our mentality. We believe in our mentality. We believe in having mentality of taking a black person, a man created in your image, to burn them alive, to kill them like snakes, to take our African sisters and do the crazy things on their private parts. That are the kind of mentality or the kind of gospel we have in our mentality. But when someone come and talk about us loving one another as Africans, when someone come and talk us being united as one Africa, in our mind, all we think about, oh no, when Julius Malema say like this, he want an illegal Mozambican to come across the border and commit crime here and run back to Mozambique. Oh, when Julius Malema said that he was going to open the border, no, he want a Nigerian to come and sell drugs here and destroy our children. Those are the things that we only keep in our mind. But the positive side of Africa being united, we don't see it. And we don't seem to appreciate it. That's why I say we have a problem of mentality. Our mentality is being colonized by white monopolitical, because the day will decolonize this mentality, our brain, our way of thinking, our way of seeing things, then we won't have this kind of problem. We won't have this kind of issue anymore. So we are failing ourselves. We are betraying one another, all just because we are thinking that we don't have to sit on one table with our fellow Africans. And that is what make Julius Malema pay this high price. Otherwise, beside all this, as I said, give me 1, 2, 3 things which you believe that Julius Malema don't deserve to be the president of South Africa. I doubt most of you can't even mention me 3 or 4. But just because our mentality is still this small like this. I just give a very simple example. There are a lot of videos that we've posted about Malema over here on our channel. Go and check how this man is being treated in other countries. Recently, you saw in Peter Mugaba stadium, when president of EFF was about to give his speech, they were introducing the EFF, international EFF, different delegates coming from different part of Africa continent. These people, they decided to join EFF internationally, all because they believe in the message of Julius Malema, of raising up the economy of entire Africa. Among them, there were EFF from Liberia, EFF from Namibia, EFF from Zimbabwe, EFF from Kenya, EFF from Ghana. There were so many of them. These are Africans who have an open mind, who have tried to sit down and think and try to analyze each and every word that came from Julius Malema's mouth whenever he say about Africa unity. They end up realizing that this actually is something that will benefit us as an Africans. Let's take this gospel, let's take this good news and spread it through Africa continent. Let's waken up the entire Africa so that one day we can have one currency, so that one day we can have one army, so that one day we can have that true African Union. Well, while this message is being welcomed in some of African countries, over here in South Africa, that does not even seem to sit well with fellow South Africans, because we believe that we are much better than us dealing with these Africans. You know, that arrogance, okay, let me just put it a very easy example. We are having that arrogance of the children of the rich auntie. Whereby you believe that, no, we are doing good. Actually, in my country, I'm good. Yeah, at our house, we eat as many times as we want, 24 hours by 24 hours. And when we are seeing countries such as the DR Congo, people fighting over there, killing innocent children and women, and then we feel like, no, I can't be united with this kind of people. No, us here, we're good. Forgetting that one day is one day. Just as much it happened during the time of apartheid. Who could have imagined that most of these people who are busy eating the money of the government today, they were all in exile? Yes, you know that as much I do. They were all in exile, some in Angola, some in DR Congo, some in Tanzania, some in Zimbabwe, all over. As time of apartheid, we all know countries of Africa, they showed that love and solidarity to help people of South Africa. People like, Nigeria. Their parliament have to go and take their whole entire salary to send as a help to the government of, not government, the ANC during that time, so that they can even get the guns. Today we are talking about Cuba helping the revolutionary of ANC. But there's many countries in Africa that help South Africa to become where we are today. And yet, those are now enemies. So guys, it is very simple. Julius Malema felt betrayed by South Africans, not because they did not want to vote for him, no. Not because they did not show up in their vote, no. It's a problem of mentality. So it is the mentality of South Africans that make Julius Malema feel betrayal in them. Because the main message was very clear. It was very simple. It is you to put him in actions to see whether this man is going to obey to what he's saying, or is he going to fool us again. Vote the person, give him one term, and see if they will do exactly what they are promising you or not. If he promised that they're going to finish the unemployment, is that true? Put him to test. He said that it's going to give free education. Is that true? Put him to test. He said that no, they are going to do 1, 2, 3, all those things. Put him to test. And if they fail to fulfill their promise, therefore, you vote and put someone else. But these things of having mentality that no, look, if you do this, if I vote like this, if we remove ANC in the power, blah, 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 blah. Guys, it's a problem of mentality. How many bad things have been said about ANC so far? Oh, ANC load shedding, oh, ANC unemployment, oh, ANC blah, 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 blah. Now, the same ANC is coming back in power. Are you still going to complain again? Yes or no? That's why I say it is a problem of mentality. Because you are refusing to vote the EFF with Julius Malema because they talk about open border to Africans. But do you know how many illegal immigrants are entering this country daily? Daily. Do you know how many illegal immigrants they live in this country illegally? Whether you search them in the Home Affairs or any border security management whatsoever, you'll never even gonna see their trace. How many of them? Why don't you punish ANC on that one? Guys, it's a problem of mentality. The day we'll try to change our way of thinking, the day will change our mentality, things will look different. Because a person who have an open mentality, you're not just gonna see the fact that no, Julius Malema wants to invite Africans. No, you will see it in the way that no, Julius Malema wants to raise up the economy of Africans by allowing Africans to travel freely among our borders, whereby a South African can decide today to go somewhere in the South Sudan without a visa. You just go there with your passport, so that they can know that you are coming from South Africa. You go in Sudan there, you do whatever you want to do there, whether you are visiting, whether you are doing business, whether you are what. Because when you go there, you go with South African money, which is the rent. When you go with it there, you buy other stuff, maybe you bring back, and then they'll make things more easy. We'll be having one currency and everything. That's how we're supposed to be thinking, and not to think that no, if we vote Julius Malema, which means it's going to open the border, and if you open the border, which means this and that is going to be happening. No, that is a kind of arrogance we should not be having. Yes, because we are not better than our fellow Africans, and they are not better than us. So we're supposed to be loving one another. We're supposed to be thinking about continents. Now my question comes, what will happen if one day we wake up, we sleep, and we find what is happening in Zimbabwe, what is happening in Somalia, what is happening in Ethiopia or DR Congo, happening right now in this country? Are we gonna now start considering of us being united as one Africa? Or are we gonna continue calling each other names? Illegal immigrant and so on and so on? Guys, above all, The EFF, they are doing good. There is a possibility they can still maintain their third position in both national and provincial elections. But the fact is that we were not all expecting this. Even you, the person who's watching me, I believe you were not also expecting this. At least they would have been maybe number 2, not where they are standing right now. So that will be all for now. We will be talking about MK with Jacob Zuma, as they give the entire South Africa political party a big surprise that they never expected. We'll be talking about them in the next video. If you don't want to miss it, just make sure that you click that ring button so that you'll be able to receive the notification. But if you find anything beneficial and you would like to know more from us, because this is a Pan-African platforms which we had created for you and me as a black child, to be sitting and having different conversation through different topics. And we sit here, we're not talking about nonsense, but we're talking about matters that can help Africa and Africans to be together and be united, so that we can be able to develop this beautiful continent that our forefathers had fought for. So if you want to catch more from us, it's very simple. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel right now, so that whenever we're live, you'll be able to hear from us again. But besides that, don't forget to give us your thumbs up and comment in the comment section. Tell us also what you think. What do you think about Julius Malema being betrayed by South Africans? Why Julius Malema is not being elected as the president of South Africa? Tell us also what you think also about that. Your opinions count above all, so that we can see on what also we can talk to you in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.
Africa, Africa, Africa,